us being friends, all right, and we fucking love guns.
And we're live.
Welcome to the 2A Brotherhood podcast.
Dude, that
As you
goes
can
so
tell,
hard.
we're down a couple guests today.
Yeah, it's all good though.
Yeah.
God's still in control. All right, so, did you have a good week?
It was all right, just been busy at work, man. It's work's been crazy. So,
Still making that money,
can't,
man.
can't complain too much.
I voted against it.
Whoops. Dang it. Sorry. Yeah, it's been a pretty good week. Actually, my sister, B,
Mm-hmm.
she had her other appointment,
Mm-hmm.
and got some new sonogram pictures.
Oh wow.
And everything. Yeah, man. Pretty cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Are they gonna do the 4D pictures or the 4D?
I have never seen that before.
It's like 3D or 4D pictures. Yeah, so
Let me look this up.
when we got ours, let me see if I can find ours. When we got
3D
ours, it basically shows you what
ultrasound?
the baby's gonna look like.
Is it an ultrasound or is it
Yes,
seeing
it
your
is.
baby in 3D? Dude, that
Yes,
is
it is, but it's a
crazy.
specific type of ultrasound. So I'm gonna
Are you sharing
I'm
your
gonna crop.
screen? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't have it on the computer, so let me just crop this real quick, and then I'll show you. So here, let me turn off.
I have the pictures.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I googled
Okay.
it too. Yeah, I can share.
Okay,
it
yeah.
for
So you can see, yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, see? And it shows you basically exactly what the baby looks like. Like if you go to one of the ones where it shows like the baby, like the picture and then the baby, like
Oh, this
yeah,
one?
like that one right there.
Dude, that is fascinating. How in the world?
Yeah, see?
That's incredible. What kind of machine is that?
So it's basically an ultrasound, but they just go really in depth with it. You also have to like drink a lot of water before you go. And then oh, we were told like drink a little bit of orange juice right before you go because it'll wake the baby up a little bit and get them active.
Really?
But
I never heard that before. Drinking OJ?
yeah. Yeah, and they're not super expensive either, but yeah, you get a bunch of like we have a whole file, we have a whole USB file with just a bunch of pictures of with the 4D, imagery and everything, and basically a whole video of the whole session for our little one.
Is it? Oh, is it? Are they just pictures, or do they have like video?
Well, we have a video of our session of them
Okay.
basically building the baby's face.
Oh. But not like a
Yeah.
3D like video of the baby actually like moving in the womb.
But yeah, they kind of it's kind of like they kind of do, but like once they build it, you can see it, like you can see the baby moving, you know. But yeah, it's really cool though. I would definitely suggest it.
That is pretty fascinating. What the
Yeah,
technology, man. That's dope.
yeah,
I like that.
for sure. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I can't.
That's actually,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna switch topics. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say like, yeah, the technology is crazy. But yeah,
That's some Tony Stark technology.
yeah.
Yo, so the other night I told you on the phone. I saw that Senator Kennedy video.
Mhm.
I laughed so hard. If my sister, she's not, she was working that night, but
Mhm.
I was up just watching random YouTube shorts, and this video came up. I could not stop laughing. Let me show you. It is hilarious, bro.
Oh shit.
I voted against.
And if I think the funniest part, well, I'll let you watch it first, and then give me your opinion. All right, can you see the YouTube?
Mhm.
All right, here we go.
I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
Call a crackhead.
I'm John
I've seen
Kennedy,
that. I've seen that. Yeah, call a
and I
crackhead.
approve this message.
I approve this message.
You hate cops because they're cops. Next time you're in trouble, call a crackhead. I've seen that.
Call a crackhead.
Call a crackhead. I'm John. The next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
He's so serious too. That's the best
Mhm.
part. He is like legitimate campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Call a crackhead. I saw this other video. I don't know if this is true or if it's like this happens all the time, but there was a video where a cop, it's a camera footage from inside the police cruiser, and he's like texting and driving, but a car comes across the median, and swerves out of control, comes across and hits him. And I think he assumed that it was his fault because he wasn't looking at the road; he was looking at his phone. But as soon as the impact happened, the computer inside the car immediately dialed out to 911.
Yeah.
And then when the phone answered or picked up, it was an automated voice message that said, "Thank you for calling 911" or something. An operator will be with you shortly or something.
Yeah.
Or like you have approximate wait time of, whatever.
See, that's crazy.
It's not fair, man. They took away all the funding, and there's just not enough money to go around for all the employees that they need in these huge cities.
Yeah. I'm trying to find this one.
Well, hey, there's plenty of crackheads, so next time you're in trouble,
Call a crackhead.
call a crackhead. Kennedy for president. Did you see my t-shirt?
Are you able to? I'm gonna post a thing into. Speaking of cops, I saw this crazy video earlier. I'm not signed into my YouTube here, and you have to be. You have to sign in to watch it.
Oh, okay.
See if you could watch that video. I believe
Sure.
that's the one that I saw
Sure.
earlier.
Here we go. Share it for the peoples. And
It should be a red car. I saw this earlier. This just blew my mind.
I'll be on traffic with that. King Henry Frank 765, Burgess and Leclerc. Burgess and Leclerc, King Henry Frank 765.
You probably skip forward a little bit.
Hey Dennis.
Or-
Hey,
what?
I say you could probably skip forward just a little bit to where he gets. Or well, yeah. Here's a good point. It's about to happen. I think.
Okay.
I hate to be the one to tell you this, but it sounds like you got a warrant out of Illinois. Okay. You got your ID on you? I'm sorry? Okay. Do you have anything on you? Okay. Why don't you step out of the car until we can identify you? You got anything on your person, man? You got anything on you? Any weapons or anything like that? What's up? Awesome. Okay, go ahead and step out. Hello? Go and step out, man. Yeah, reach. Unbuckle your seatbelt and step
I wonder what they're thinking, man.
Yeah.
Stop the car, man! Stop the car! Stop the car! Stop the fucking car! Stop the fucking car! Stop the fucking car! Stop it! Stop the car! Stop the car! Get off the fuck! Put on the goddamn brakes! Put on the fucking brakes! Put on the brakes! Stop the fucking car! Stop the fucking car, man! Jesus Christ! Stop the car, man!
Carroll 91, he is going north past the county shed to Highway 30. I
Did he
have
get
1050
stuck?
in a ditch. I need medics to my location. I have Officer McCarty down.
Did he get stuck in the mud or something? The cop?
No, he stopped because the other officer fell off the car.
Dude, that was wild, bro.
Yeah.
Carroll,
Jeez, bro. That's wild. Where was this? Ohio?
I don't know. But yeah, that was crazy.
Heck yeah, man.
If I was that cop, dude, I'd have started shooting through the roof.
Bro, because once you're in that kind of situation and he starts driving and taking you on roads and he's like, you could die just simply by falling off the car. So now it's a life and death situation.
Yeah, so I just started shooting through the roof.
Man, that is crazy, bro. Like, he knew.
Yeah.
I wonder what the warrant was for, though. Like, if it was a violent crime or if it was, like, just drugs or something. Because if he had a predisposition to violence, then I would understand, like, immediately, like, without taking any chances, as soon as you see them trying to, like, leave or, you know, start the car or whatever, you know, then using a taser or a pepper spray or your firearm. But that was wild, bro.
Or at least shooting out the back window to be able to get into the car. Something like that, you know. Like, I'd have done something like that if I was on the roof.
Like, used his baton.
Shot out the back window. Yeah.
Like, whatever it is, the center punch thing to break, like, the window that... Because he told the guy, like, 4 times to get out of the car, and he was very calm about it. And...
Yeah.
You know... Dude, that was crazy. Was this
I can
recent?
I can guarantee that car probably didn't make it very far after going in that ditch.
Yeah. Did you see how deep it was, bro?
Yeah.
I think that was like a...
I can guarantee you that he did not go very far after driving through that ditch.
So
he
give me your
probably only
expert
made it a
opinion.
few more miles.
Give me your expert opinion. How bad was his car messed up after hitting that ditch?
I mean, it depends on how he landed, but how fast he went over that ditch, he probably, number one, bucked up his oil pan, I'm gonna assume, so he's probably leaking oil. Number two, he probably fucked up something in his suspension.
Most definitely.
And so, yeah, so it's probably riding like shit. And yeah, he did some damage. I'll say that for sure.
Bro.
As far as what else, I mean, it depends on how hard he hit, where he hit, you know. But I could almost guarantee he probably fucked up his oil pan.
Dude got screwed, man. That is horrible, bro.
That part where he was just like, where it was the other car's view of him on the hood.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that boy's in for a ride.
It was crazy too, because at first he's driving like pretty slow. He's like going like 10, 15, 10 miles an hour, and while the cops yelling at him, and he's just like going all slow. And then as soon as they crossed over that the 3-way or whatever 4-way, he just
hauled ass.
yeah, he just took off because the other cops got back in their vehicles and they just dipped. What happened to the second dude? Was he just arrested right there?
I don't know. They both were in the car.
The driver, because it looked like he switched over. Did you see that? Like it looked like the passenger got into the driver's seat.
I didn't see that. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, because he opens his friend's door. He opens the driver's door. You see that? The door's open, and then it looks like he gets over into the driver's seat. See that? And nobody's in the passenger seat.
I didn't see that.
And it looks, I don't even know what happened to the other guy. Maybe he jumped in the back seat or something.
No, it looks like go back. Go back. Right to your right. Watch. Look. Look right there, to your right, the top right of the screen.
Oh.
Just threw his hands up.
My camera's. Oh yeah, I see it. Yep, I see him. That's wild, bro.
I didn't even notice that before.
He's like, bro, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna hop out the car, and I'm gonna drive your car away. What is that, a Cobalt or something? Bro, that is wild. And then boom. Here we go.
He tried to pit him right there.
That could have been bad for the cop on top if he hit that that telephone line, telephone pole.
Or if he kept driving into the train. I guarantee that's what that cop thought, was he was going to keep driving into the train.
Man. Well, now he has some more charges on his record. Man,
That's probably assault and battery right there.
I'd like to see this video.
Stop, please. Are you reaching? Okay. Hit a gun. Okay, no, I ain't do nothing. I promise to God, I ain't do nothing. We got you. Okay. Radio shots fired by the police. Okay. Nails down, start EMS. 5 222. What the man? You reached for that gun. No, I'm not. This is your hand. All right, you got it. I'm sorry. I promise you, I'm sorry. I didn't reach for no gun. I was just trying to run. Where you hit? You got it, right here. Where are you hit? I'm hitting my leg, promise. I promise to God I wasn't even trying to hit y'all. I feel it leaking. Please, why y'all shoot me, man? Get a gun in your hand, man. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. It might have looked like it, but I promise to God I wasn't finna shoot at nobody. I wasn't finna. My man. I promise to God I wasn't finna do nothing. I was.
Bruh. That's what happens, man. You get. That's a dangerous gamble. A cop will shoot you, man. They will shoot you. And it's
he was
obvious.
quick on putting that.
Huh?
He was quick on putting that tourniquet on.
He was. But the crazy thing is, it's like he definitely had a gun in his hand. You can see it. Look, I'll let me slow the video down if they allow it here. Oh yeah, here we go. Look, he has the gun. He hops out. You can see it. Where is it? I think it's in his left hand. Yeah, look, it's right there. You see it? I mean, I feel bad for the guy. I mean, why would he have a gun? Like, if he really wasn't trying to shoot anybody, why did he have a gun in his hand? Or defend himself? Like, I don't know the situation. I'd have to see the police report. That
Yeah.
is wild, bro.
You know, that's how you end up on a T-shirt.
And that's another thing too, man. If he would have tased him, his muscles would have tensed up, and that gun could have discharged.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the officer did what he was trained to do. So,
But now that's racism.
yeah, that is racist.
Yeah, now that's racism.
We're all canceled.
Mm-hmm. He shot a black man. That's racist.
Man, that's crazy. Well, he probably survived that. So,
Yeah. Let me see if I can find.
you have another video?
The video I was telling you about earlier. Let's see. I don't know if I could find it. It was. Let's see. I'll have to find it probably another time, but it was the video I was telling you about earlier.
About.
The password thing.
Oh yeah, the password. Yeah. Man.
Let's see. Yeah, I think it's on TikTok. I gotta find that later. But it was really funny clip and everything. So I'll have to show you later.
Bro.
Let's see.
They sniped the dude.
Oh shit.
You seen it? He sniped him with that AR.
Damn.
Hold. Don't move your shots fired, and he is down. Hey, we got to move on him. We don't want him to go to that house. Guns in his hand. I know.
What's
Let's go.
what's that distance?
Because that house could be occupied.
I don't know. It looks like I couldn't even see him in the live or the body cam footage. I couldn't see him that far back.
Can't even see him, and you can't even see him that far zoomed out.
You see that black dot all the way where my cursor is?
Yeah.
I think that might be him. Cause let's see, what is this? There's a shack right here to his left. I think that's this. Yeah, so he's probably. I don't know. It's hard to tell, man. You see, even with the suppressor, it's still really loud.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Let's go. We got to move on him because that house could be occupied.
That house could be occupied as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yo.
Have you heard about the new thing that's been going on? Well, it's not really so
What,
new.
the tuck option?
No. So you know how back when like we were kids and everything, you would ding dong ditch, like that was like a big thing.
Yeah.
Ding dong ditch. Well, now kids are just running up to people's doors and kicking down their doors and then running away. Yeah.
So what did they call that?
I don't know.
Ding dong kick.
I've been seeing it like I started seeing it on my my Ring, like my Ring feed, because Ring has like this, like the app has this thing to where you can like post videos into your Ring app and it shows like people in your area, and I started seeing it in my area, and now I'm just seeing clips of it on YouTube and all that stuff. And I've been seeing it a lot more.
Here's this video. Here's this video here. It says 4 kids shot and killed while ding dong ditching, and it's like a parody video. they ring his doorbell, and the kids run away. He steps out front with a bow and arrow and shoots all the kids. with a bow and an arrow.
What?
Like what? Drugs in the Ronald McDonald? So you don't know what the trend is called though, right? Like kids kicking doors down or something.
Let's see.
Oh, Greensboro teen kicks
Here, I'm
man's
pulling it
door.
up right now.
Doesn't consider the consequences.
Here,
Bro,
I'm pulling
look
it
at
up now.
this. Yeah.
Mm.
Here, I have one here. He does the freaking Jason Statham from the Transporter kick.
Getting ready to head out for a meeting, and heard a large boom. My dog started barking. I got up, came outside.
But all he saw were a few kids waiting for the bus. He says criminals targeted his home before, stealing thousands of dollars worth of things from his car. So Anthony Vogt couldn't help but think the worst.
Either a car had hit my house or somebody was trying to break in, which seems pretty stupid since my truck was right here in the driveway.
By the time his Ring video loaded and he realized what happened, Vogt says the child was already on the bus. He quickly realized it's probably just kids being kids, but says there's a lesson in this.
Well, I definitely thought, like, you know, what if this kid,
So
if I got a
dumb.
gun and this kid had got shot? I mean, and at the end of the day, if it was just a joke, it may get a rise.
Yeah, I had that Gucci belt.
Yeah.
Teach him some life lessons, and that would possibly help him out.
After
Yeah,
he
that was
realized what
amazing.
happened, Vogt called police.
Like why? Why is that a thing?
Here.
You-
Let's see.
You got one?
Tonight about a new social media trend that is catching on right here in South Florida.
Teens actually recording themselves kicking people's doors, and authorities are worried they could be putting themselves in some real danger. Local 10's Ian Margle reporting now from Weston.
This happened in at least 2 Broward neighborhoods over the weekend, and it seems similar to a TikTok trend that's been going around for a while now. A flying kick to this front door, and just as quickly as he appeared, this prankster takes off, along with a bunch of his friends. That happened in Davie over the weekend, and around the same time, just a few miles away in Weston, more surveillance cameras caught something similar.
And they go up to this house, and you can see it from the security camera. They go, they kick the garage, they run away, and it turns out they actually damaged the garage.
Sergeant Arik Levy is with the Broward Sheriff's Office, and he says the videos are strikingly similar to a TikTok trend. The videos in the trend start out with audio from Kesha's song Die Young. Then, on the beat, the people on camera kick the door they're in front of and sprint off.
A challenge like this, you know, all of it's bad. All of it is being done to get likes, to go viral, to get notoriety.
Levy says while this may seem like a harmless prank, it's actually misdemeanor criminal mischief. And if a homeowner were to think you were trying to kick their door to break in,
And the response to that, you know, can be physical all the way up to lethal force. The most important thing is that parents need to get involved and know what your kids are doing.
Sergeant Levy says that with surveillance systems and security...
Yeah. Yeah,
What
so
a stupid trend. But that sounds like
Dude.
something we would do when we were kids.
I would never kick in someone's door. Like I might ding dong ditch, but I would never
Yeah, ding dong ditch.
actually kick. Dude,
Not
there's
damage
some
their
videos.
property.
Yeah, there's some kids that are like actually kicking down people's doors. You know, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, there's like some kids that are literally just kicking down people's doors, and it's crazy.
Hey, I need to use the bathroom. I'm gonna step away for like 2 minutes, real
Alright.
quick. I will put the
Sound-
B. I'm gonna put the Be Right Back screen on, so
Okay.
it won't be showing your face, unless you
Alright,
want to keep
sounds good.
talking and stuff.
All
on
right,
the
sounds
stream.
good.
Okay.
was it?
It was good, man. It was
Refreshing.
a nice tinkle.
Yeah, refreshing. You feel lighter.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, there
let's
you go.
see.
But
All right.
yeah, man, no. If someone did that to me, dude, like that's the thing that sucks about living in Maryland is,
Well, if
like,
somebody
if
did
someone
that to
was there
you,
to-
you'd have to call a crackhead.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
there's plenty of them around here. But no, that's the thing. That's the thing about that sucks about being in Maryland. Someone could literally come up and just destroy my property, and I can't do anything about it.
Do you have one of those cameras or security cameras or anything?
The Ring camera, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So,
Is
I mean, it just.
Is the Ring camera like? How is that hooked up? Is that hooked up with like a system, or is that just like a little camera doorbell that you just put on your door?
So there's a couple ways to do it, right?
Like,
so they have like the Ring spotlights.
mhm.
They have the Ring doorbell camera, which you could either hardwire into like electric, or you can run it off of battery power or solar power. And if it's battery power, then you have to take it off every now and then and charge it, and then you just put it back on, and it takes about 8 hours to charge fully. Or you have the solar power, or tie it into your house's electric, right? And then yeah, it's just hooked. It just connects to your phone.
Through like
But
Wi-Fi
you
or
also,
Bluetooth.
yeah, well, it connects to the Wi-Fi. Which the downside of that is if the Wi-Fi goes out, then your camera's out.
So it won't record if the Wi-Fi is down.
It won't. No.
Dang.
Yeah.
Can you have
and
one
then-
hardwired into the modem or whatever, the router?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if your internet goes out, yeah. And then they have so when they ring the bell, it shows up on your phone. Someone's at your door. Or you could have the chime, which is basically like the doorbell sound, kind of like how you have a doorbell. You could just plug that into somewhere in your house and you'll hear it. So there's a bunch of different attachments for it and things you could do with it. But yeah, it basically just connects to your phone via Wi-Fi.
Might be something we could look into. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's allowed at
Yeah.
a rental property,
I mean, they're pretty easy, so you don't have to actually drill into the house to put it in. Obviously, if you don't, it's going to be less secure. But they have attachments you could do to where you could just stick it to the side. You know what I mean? And then you don't have to drill a hole. Like I said, you can either get the solar power option, or you can just take it off. Generally the battery lasts about, I was doing the battery thing for a while, and then generally the battery lasts about, I'd say probably about a month or so.
Oh wow!
Depending on how often you're looking at it, and then anyone in the house can have access to it. And again, you can just stick it to the door, and when you leave, it's like you were never. It's like it was never there. So, pretty cool little option.
Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen these. Like at Best Buy or something, or maybe Walmart or Target. But you can buy these really really nice security systems that have 4, 5, 6 cameras, and you can put them all around your house and everything. You can put them out, and they're weatherproof, so you can put them outside, inside, whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's the same thing with the spotlight too. They have a bunch of different options for it. I think they even have a pet camera for inside the house. To keep an eye on it. And the spotlights are really nice. My neighbor has them, and they're really nice. Actually, just a little while ago, a couple weeks back, um, I woke up late for work because my daughter was being a butthole, and so I was up late with her, and so I got a late start to work, and I didn't leave till like around 8 o'clock. And as I'm like walking out, I see people walking into his backyard. Now it pulls up a notification saying like, someone. It's like motion at your front door, at your camera, or your back door, wherever you have it located. And so it sends you a notification. But I called him and was like, hey, just so you know, some kids just walked into your backyard. And he was able to pull it up on his camera, and it's got like a really wide angle view, right? And he was able to see like the direct path they took and watch them walk through his backyard and then hop a fence and then walk along that fence. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It was fisheye lens.
Dude, it's like super wide.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have to show you when you come. It's like, it's a super wide angle. Basically, I could see up and down my whole street.
Wow.
Like on my camera. Like I could literally look at every, like, up and down the whole street on the camera. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, man. That's like, it's you never know when that kind of thing could be, important. Like, let's say something happens to a neighbor or something, now your camera has full, because you said you could see the whole street. So
yeah.
Now you
Now
have
the
proof
only
there. Was it 4K?
Yeah, it's pretty good quality. The only thing to it is for it to activate, you have to have direct. So you set your motion, like your range, right? Like your area that you want it to go off on. So if I could set it like super wide, right?
Is that
But then
infrared?
What?
Is it infrared? Like,
I don't know. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
But so basically, if I have it set out to the street, right? So mine is from my sidewalk up to my door. That's how mine's set. So the second you walk in front of my house, it's like it's gonna go off
On
right?
the sidewalk, not like the pathway leading up to the house.
Well, the sidewalk up to the house.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
gonna
what's
go
that,
off
like 6 to 10 feet or something?
a little bit further, like 20 feet.
And it'll start recording if you're 20 feet away from your house.
Yeah, but I could set up to
wow.
where it's out on the street, But
Dang.
the downside of that is anytime a car drives past, it's gonna go off. Which we had it like that before, and it was cars constantly going in and out.
Draining the battery faster.
Yeah, and it drains the battery faster. So you can essentially, if you have, and you don't mind the notifications, you could have a super wide range, and yeah, you could see all that stuff. But again, you're going into, you could turn off the notifications, but you're going to go into that whole thing of, do you want to deal with the notifications and drain your battery and all that? But yeah, you basically set the area of where you want it to go off on.
What brand is that?
Ring.
Oh, okay. So they do it the same. Do they have like different models, like bigger cameras, or?
Yeah. Let's see.
Because the next time I'm in trouble, I'd need to call a crackhead.
Yeah, you gotta call a crackhead. Let's see.
Listen, y'all. Do you hate police just because they're police officers? Well, next time you're in trouble, instead of calling the cops, call a crackhead.
See, look.
Oh,
so
wow.
they got
That's like a
outdoor
floodlight
cameras
and camera.
Yeah, so you got all these cameras.
That's genius. Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Indoor cameras, doorbells. This is the one that I have right here.
I think that's the same one that my brother, they have at the house.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the one. This middle one's the one that I have here. They even have car cameras. You know,
Oh, word.
alarms. So you have like alarm systems, lighting. You know, accessories. See, this comes with like the solar panels options. I think this is the solar panel thing that I was talking about. Um, Different things. So yeah,
Dude,
they got
they
a
have
bunch of different
keypad locks?
stuff. Yeah,
What the? Dude, that's dope.
yeah, and then here's the for pets. You know, you can look at your pets. So it's pretty cool. And they're not super expensive either, you know.
Do they have ones that dial out to crackheads?
I think that's something they're working on. So hopefully, maybe sometime in the future, they can hop on that. You know.
Yeah. Crackhead ring.
Yeah. Yeah. You know. Hopefully, sometime in the future, that's something they can work on.
That crackhead strength. Did you? There was a video of that dude. He was moving a refrigerator, and he picked it up, put it on his back, and rode a bicycle. And he carried it on his back on a bike. And I was like, bro, he's on crack.
That's some dedication right there.
He wasn't bulky either. He was a skinny guy, like crackhead skinny.
That's some straight up dedication right there.
Let me show you something, man. This one's pretty funny. All right. Let me share it for the streamers, and then I will share it for you. If I share it with you first, the screen goes black. So I usually just share it with the stream first. All right, you ready?
With customers.
I can't believe this. I'm like, what? Drugs? In the Ronald McDonald's? Come on, this is horrible.
Drugs?
I'm like, what?
Drugs? In the Ronald McDonald's?
At this McDonald's, ordering Coke didn't always get you soda. The NYPD...
At this McDonald's.
At this McDonald's, ordering Coke didn't always get you soda. The NYPD says a manager at the Bronx restaurant was selling drugs to customers. Or in this case, undercover officers. A special narcotics prosecutor said Frank Guerrero put plastic bags of cocaine in cookie bags and then placed them in larger bags with cheeseburgers and fries, allegedly creating one illegal Happy Meal. Guerrero and his girlfriend were reportedly arrested, and the McDonald's has been closed until further notice. For InsideEdition.com, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Yeah, can I get a large Coke with a Coke?
For InsideEdition.com, I'm Mara Montalbano.
That was great. And then that was the woman who they interviewed outside of the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Customers.
Can I get a large Coke with a soda?
I'm like, what? Drugs? In the Ronald McDonald's?
People was like, yo, nobody calls it Ronald McDonald's. And she was just like, people was like, yo, she deserves an Oscar for that performance. Like, she didn't know they was selling Coke there. Like, she's like, what? Drugs?
She's like, damn, I gotta get a new supplier now.
I'm like, what? Drugs? In the Ronald McDonald's? Come on, this is horrible. What can we do?
What can we do? Like, come on, man. You knew there was drugs in there. Somebody said that's the #1 customer at that McDonald's. Drugs? Like, there's no way. Like, I never received a bag full of cocaine in my Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Where getting a Coke doesn't always mean a soda.
Can I get a large Coke with a soda?
Yeah. Can I get a soda with that, please? Let me get a large Coke. And I'll have a Diet Coke as well.
Let's see.
Oh man, that was such a good laugh, bro. There's a
Yeah.
couple other videos I had saved for this week's podcast I can show, but I'll save some for tomorrow if we end up doing another podcast tomorrow. But let's see.
Yeah, here, I got one for you.
Yeah, go ahead. Are you sending it or are you gonna share it?
I'm gonna share it.
Okay. What we
Stop
got?
thanking reporters.
Yeah.
It's their. Says first, I'm a big fan of WGN News, accurate, professional, and timely. What I am not a fan of is anchors saying thank you to every reporter after every report.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
Oh,
that.
brother. Please stop thanking reporters.
Yeah.
It's their job.
Yeah, it is their job.
Just move on and start reading the next
Right.
story. We as viewers cannot care if
Yeah.
anchors feel the need to be over polite to field reporters. Well, Nick, we agree and we fix the problem.
That's the latest live from Wrigley. Nancy Liu, WGN News.
Nancy, thank you. Parishioners.
Kelly Davis, WGN News.
Kelly, thank you. Chicago police.
They're live all morning long from Lollapalooza here in Grant Park.
All right, Dean, thank you. That does it for us this morning.
Thanks so much.
Hey, guys,
In
how's that?
Kelly Davis, WGN News.
Here's the complaint line.
Lauren is a potty mouth.
Yeah.
Let the truth be known. I'll see you guys live from
I think it just
Lollapalooza
gives
all
the back
morning long.
rooms a chance to like push the right button. That's kind of why we do it. But
Such an improvement.
there-
Thank you, Nancy. Fuck you, Nancy.
Fuck you, Nancy.
Yeah. Yo.
We should start doing that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you
Yeah,
for
fuck
that
you,
wonderful
Josh.
report. You know what would be great, dude? If we did a podcast and we had like a field reporter, like downtown Baltimore, and we just
Oh, dude,
switched to
that'd
the
be
live
funny.
stream on their camera. Yeah,
That'd be funny. And then we could do that. Fuck you, Austin.
Like, yeah, Austin is he's in a witch's what are they, a coven?
The
in,
coven.
Yeah, he's in the witch's coven right now, live streaming, broadcasting. They're doing a seance, and he's donating some of his blood. They're just live streaming these witches.
Dude, I actually had a really in-depth conversation with one of them, and we got into like a bunch of like widespread topics, right? And I figured like we were not going to agree on anything politically. You know, like I said before, like they were always respectful to me.
Yeah.
You know, and we got into this widespread topic, and I did not think that we were going to get anywhere on the same page politically, especially when it came to like race politics, because you know the woman I was talking to was African American, and dude, she's like super far to the right. Like, dude, she was like, I fucking hate how everyone plays the victim. Like, just because you're black doesn't mean you're a victim. They were going into like that, and then she was like, and guns are the best thing that ever happened to this country.
That's awesome.
And I was surprised by that.
What
'cause,
you thought she
know,
was gonna say? What, straw rooms?
No. Voodoo dolls. No, I'm just kidding. But no, they were always really nice. I will say that.
Yeah. Were any of them like religious, or what religion were they?
Wiccan, like I guess
That's
like
what-
pagan Wiccan.
Hmm.
You know,
That's not devil worship, is it?
I don't think that like
Or maybe certain
one of
demons?
them. I think like, one of them or two of them like were Satanist. but I don't think they were all Satanists.
Very
Because
interesting.
when I was talking, remember like the bracelets, especially the ones that Rob keeps asking me to make.
Mhm.
I just haven't been able to because my welder's been acting up and everything.
Yeah.
So I was shown one of them, the bracelet, I made, and she wanted me to make a a couple satanic symbols into a pendant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to respectfully decline. That goes against my beliefs and my religion. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna support that on my end. I'm not gonna. My hands will not create that. And she was completely understanding of it, like really respectful of it. But I don't even know if she was a Satanist. I think she just did it to piss people off.
Like wear pentagrams and stuff, or like
Yeah,
like
and
the
not even just
goat's
pentagrams,
head
like
or the ram's head. Or whatever.
yeah, stuff like that. But I wouldn't even go as far as to say she was a Satanist. But
Were there a lot of Christians in that town?
in that town, there's a lot of crackheads.
Like the historical part that we went through. Like crackheads
See,
there?
I don't know. There actually are. See, I don't know. It's because that part of Virginia is such a liberal area that I think it's the same as everywhere else. Like it's kind of like a melting pot for a lot of different people because there are a lot of Muslims over there. There's
wow.
like a big, I see them all the time. It's a big Muslim community, like not too far away. Maybe not in that town particularly, but like not too far away. But in that town, it's a mix because there are a lot of Hispanics out there, and a lot of them are Catholic. But I think a lot of them just don't really care about religion. From my gauge off of it, my feel is off of it.
Just the people or the witches?
Everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone. But yeah, no, the witches, like I said, they were always respectful to me and really nice, but they did some weird stuff. Like I saw one of their I don't know what like the summer solstice deal.
Oh yeah.
Or
That's
like
right.
winter solstice.
Didn't you say there was
Whatever.
like a god of the winter or something that they worshipped?
Yeah, something like that. Like there was there was a bunch of stuff. Like they had people dressing up as like different characters to represent things, and it was different.
Let's see here.
Like I said, I think they were Wiccan, but I don't know if Wiccan is like a basis off of Satanism or paganism.
Tell me if this sounds familiar. Saturnalia is an ancient Roman pagan festival honoring Saturn, the god of agriculture and time. It started on December 17 and generally lasted 7 days. Does that sound like the winter solstice festival?
That does sound familiar. Is there like a I don't want to say like a dark lord of it, but is there like a darker entity to it? Are you able to see that?
Wiccan,
like for the winter solstice thing?
Winter solstice. Let's see. The rebirth of the great horned hunter god. They called it Yule.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Newborn solstice, some private ceremonies, generally meeting in covens, which anoint their own priests and priestesses. Wiccan chants and cast or draw circles to invoke their deities, mainly during festivals coincide with Halloween and Christmas, and when the moon is full. Let's see. I don't see anything about them dressing up though.
That might have just been something like different they did.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that was something different they did.
They call it this one, the Wiccan version of this winter solstice. It looks like they just call it Yule.
Yeah, that's what it's. I think that sounds familiar.
Okay, Circle Sanctuary. Celebrated cultures. Solar year, the rebirth of the sun. Christmas. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Celebrating the winter solstice. Honor the new solar year with light.
How do you spell the Yule?
Yule. Like Yuletide or the Yule log. Beneath the mistletoe as we drink eggnog. The time is now, the place is here, and the whole wide world is filled with cheer. My name's DMC with the mic in my hand, and I'm chilling just relaxing just like a snowman. So open, what did you say? Open your eyes, lend us an ear. We want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Let me see. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yule. Bro, this one's pretty interesting. This video here I saved. Very interesting. Let me go ahead and share it for you. You can just let me know what you think about it. It's pretty awesome.
This ISIS leader meets Jesus in prison. Check it out.
And a voice that says, I forgive you. And didn't understand that Allah is forgiving and merciful. But we cannot know His forgiveness till the day of judgment. So I said, who are you that forgives me? And I feel forgiven today. And he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I did not understand what that means because I had never heard those words. So I said, what is your name? He said, Jesus, it's the living God. Fell onto the floor. And I said, what?
Click follow or subscribe for more.
Isn't that crazy,
Yeah, that
dude?
is crazy.
My
That is
potatoes are
wild.
red.
That is crazy.
This ISIS
went from killing Christians just like Paul, killing Christians, killing people as an ISIS leader, and then meeting Jesus and shoot, man, who knows what happened to him? Maybe he fled the country or something, but yeah, I hope he's doing all right.
Dude,
It's
yeah, that
wild.
is like those stories are always so like so really powerful, you know.
Right.
Like having people that just like reject, and it's just like they finally I don't know, it's just like that stuff always really hits me because it's amazing, you know.
Yeah, man, nobody is beyond receiving salvation, you know.
Yeah.
That's like the most.
The Russian
important.
Defense Ministry has released a new.
Sorry. This one was very interesting too.
The Russian Defense.
I will probably play it again tomorrow just to see what Rob and Dimitri say, but it's like an ad for like the military and like try to get people to join the military in Russia. And it has a lot to do with like masculinity, being a man, and basically counter to what you see on the news and the social media today in America.
Defense Ministry has released a new ad campaign aimed at encouraging military-age men to join the fight in Ukraine. The ad implies that jobs such as security guards, fitness trainers, and taxi drivers are not for real men. During wartime, the campaign uses the real man concept, playing into the stereotype of masculinity venerated under Putin. The ministry promises a monthly salary of up to $2,500 for contract soldiers. The ad comes ahead of a widely expected Ukrainian counteroffensive, and fears of a new mobilization have been raised. Follow to stay connected.
Describe a hateful thing.
Something that is slightly racist.
Sorry. Yeah, so they was like, yeah, you know, being a taxi driver, you know, doing this, that, and third, not for real men. I mean, I don't see a problem with doing that, but it was a interesting way of getting men to join the fight. I feel like when everybody fled, didn't they? Remember when all the women and children fled Ukraine? Then didn't they make everybody who was like 16 all the way up to 60 something join the military?
I think so.
Huh? No. What'd you say?
I said I think so. Speaking of Russia, did you hear that they're trying to build a civilization, like a little town for right-wing Americans? Did you hear about that?
Where is this?
In Russia.
They're building a town for Americans?
Yeah, here, I'm pulling it up.
But why Russia?
I mean, because it's for Americans like that don't like the way America's going right now.
So do you think Russia would take in all those Americans?
I don't know. Let's see.
All right, hold on one sec.
I'm pulling it up right now.
That's a lot to carry all the way up and down the street.
Well, no, I didn't mean like a big bag, but just like a small bag.
But I did get ground beef. They had ground beef there, which I bought. I can put it on right now if you want.
No, I'd rather just work some real quick. I gotta work a double tomorrow.
You sure? Because this might take the time that it takes. All I have to cook is the ground beef. That's it. Because, I mean, they really.
Well, well, no, because you're doing your podcast.
I'm actually not doing the podcast. I am live streaming, but Rob forgot it was Friday. Dimitri's power went out, so it's just Austin and I talking right now. So we're gonna do it tomorrow. Just Austin and I just talking about the Instagram and stuff. So I'll go ahead and cook up the ground beef. And I'll put some away for food.
Okay, so you were saying you're live streaming, but you're not doing the podcast. Is what happened? Rob forgot what?
Rob forgot it was Friday and made plans.
Of course he did.
Dimitri's power went out.
Damn.
And so it's just Austin and I.
Okay.
Which is a big surprise because Austin's usually the one who's not in the podcast.
Yeah.
So big, so my phone works, by the way. After ingesting all that toilet water. Hey, yo. You see my t-shirt?
Oh, shit. Hang on. Don't squash my.
He's got
There you go.
He's got a sparkler.
There you go. That's badass.
Yeah, yo, I can't wait to come up and see you guys, man, and we can get some sparklers too.
Yeah, man.
Some snakes and
I'm
sparklers.
excited. Snakes and sparklers, those are the only kind I like.
Did you find what you're looking for? All right, bet. Where I can feel how cold they are. Wow. That's interesting, man. That's... Wow.
Look at that stud.
Dude, such a stud.
If you like this video,
Did you see that stud?
Which stud?
Let's see.
I saw several studs in that video.
Talk about one in particular.
The Kremlin.
Look at that stud.
Right? Man, what's he doing in Russia? He's not gonna do anything.
Just look at him. Look at that confident walk. It's like he's never fallen down a flight of stairs in his life.
This dude, man. I mean, so it's a very interesting type of idea. What happens when President Putin is no longer fit to serve as the president, and you have a new guy in office who thinks completely contrary to what his current regime is supporting? What happens to that section of expatriates who want to live in Russia? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What happens then?
My thing is, it sounds good if it wasn't Russia.
Sounds good, yeah.
If it wasn't Russia. Russia's got a sketchy history,
What happens when, the stuff hits the fan, you know what I mean? And, who knows, the one world government happens or something. And so what about all these people living in a communist, or, living in this type of country? Sadie, get off my towel. Go. Jeez, man. Yeah. So what happens when you know another leader takes over?
Yeah.
What could be the possible repercussions of that? Like, could these people be put? Could they could put a border around this section? They could make them be do slave labor.
Yeah.
Who knows
you never
what could
know.
happen, man?
So you said something about the one world government, right?
Yeah, New World Order.
Do you think that NATO is going to be that one world government?
Most likely. I think NATO and the Antichrist is going to be some kind of have some sort of Hebrew bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
The Jews are going to love him because they're gonna believe he's the Messiah. So maybe it's going to be a Hebrew, somebody with Hebrew bloodline who works in NATO and who eventually rises to power.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Biden has been talking about when he runs again, dropping Kamala and bringing in Obama as his vice president. Yeah. Which is it's kind of illegal, I mean, essentially, right? But the funny thing about that is I've heard a lot of stories about people feeling like having, I don't know how true they are, but people having like visions of the end times, and the person who is the Antichrist is Obama.
I don't think Obama's the Antichrist.
I don't think so either.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, I just find that all that's funny that it's all come together like that.
Yeah.
You know, because all those people that were saying that before are going to be like, see, this is what I'm talking about. I told you.
I've seen those videos. It's like top 10 candidates for the Antichrist. And Obama was like number 1 on the list.
I mean, does he not come from a Muslim background?
I mean, he said he was Muslim, right?
I feel like Barack Hussein Obama, isn't Hussein like a Muslim name?
Yeah, so is Barack, right?
Yeah.
It's like an English translation of an Arabic word or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically he would be from a Muslim background. But
I've heard he was born in Kenya too.
Yeah. So I mean, I just find it funny that all that's come together like that.
There's too many things like that are so questionable about it all.
I mean, the one thing I will say, like you said about like the one world order, is I feel like Russia is going to be like the only country, like the last country to join it. It's going to be the last holdout.
Yeah. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
1, 2.
Yeah.
My neighbors are getting into it right now.
What are they yelling about?
I don't know. I can't hear. They're always fighting though.
Dang. If you want to, whoops, sorry. If you want to add like the spices.
You muted yourself.
I know. If you want to add the spices, like if you want paprika or.
Do you want to add
Go. Feel free to.
Do you want to add the chopped up green peppers in the freezer or no? We can add them.
There's still green peppers.
Yeah. I don't know. Yesterday there were, I think.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah. We just add them tomorrow. I don't care about it right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll saute them. And just give Sadie like some of the meat with the without the greens.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what are they yelling about?
I don't know. I can't hear. I just hear them yelling.
So what were you saying about Russia and the New World Order?
I feel like they're going to be the last ones to join NATO.
I feel like
What?
I think they're not going to join NATO at all.
Well, is that the whole thing about the one world order?
So here's what I think's going to happen. Even though I think that here's what I think's going to happen. Russia is not going to join NATO until the Antichrist steps up, because the Antichrist is going to be the one to bring the world together. And they will worship the Antichrist, not just as a politician and as a leader, but as their God. They will literally worship him like we worship God in church and stuff. And they will, pray to him probably and sing songs and all that kind of stuff. But so it's going to be like a tipping point almost, where Russia and maybe China and the Antichrist comes in and he like basically sways whoever the leaders are of Russia and China at the point and be like, look, we need to come together, and he'll be the one, the Antichrist will be the one to eventually bring Russia, China into NATO, if it's still called NATO at that time, into the I don't know if they're going to change the name of it from being NATO to like something else when the new government is formed, the world government. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I mean, it could also be something where they basically, the Antichrist tells them like, hey, you either join or we destroy you. Right? Could that be a thing?
It could. I don't personally think that it'll be a thing, because the Antichrist is going to use, I think the Antichrist will use the military of Russia and Europe in order to invade Israel. You know what I mean? It says something about when the Euphrates River dries up, it makes a way for the kings of the east or something to invade Israel or something like that.
Yeah.
When the angels are released, I heard something. I'd have to look again. Something about it being the angels that are chained under the Euphrates being like leaders in over the militaries of like Eastern countries and stuff. But I think it would the Antichrist ultimately is going to provide a peace treaty for a certain time, and then eventually the treaty will be broken. The Jews will realize he's not the Messiah when he desecrates the temple, and then it's just going to be a whole bunch of chaos after that.
Yeah.
And then Armageddon, you know what I mean? The whole Armageddon thing is like actually going to happen.
So, isn't it something to where he's supposed to desecrate the temple? Like,
yeah, so once the temple is actually built, see, they haven't actually built the third temple in Israel. They're trying to build it. The plans have been made. The Sanhedrin has been formed. you remember they made those the half shekel coins with Cyrus and President Trump on the other side.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who moved the what was it? The capital from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. While he was president. Yeah, so they put his face on the half shekel coin that they use in the temples, that they will use in the temple. So
yeah,
the construction plans are probably already being built up, or written and all that. Cross the T's, dotting the I's, and once we start seeing the temple being built, then you're gonna know like the end is like literally right around the corner, because the temple is where the Antichrist is going to go into. He's going to sit. He's going to sit down in the most holy place where the Ark of the Covenant is. He's going to sit down on the throne, and then the Jews are going to know he's not the Messiah.
Yeah.
Who else? I don't know specifically what else he's going to do to desecrate the temple. Maybe break temple law or something, or the different laws that the Jews follow from the Talmud or the Mishnah or something, but yeah, it says he's gonna desecrate it. So
yeah, but isn't there like a base timeline of when the temple starts the building process to when it gets built? I thought there was something like a base timeline for that.
Let's see here.
Like how long they think it's gonna take. That's what I was trying to find.
Update. Let's see. What do we have
There's
here?
thirdtemple.org.
I'm on jewishvoice.org right now. A Messianic Age. Orthodox Jews. Yeah, they're having a lot of issues.
You could build the third temple today.
Yeah, because the Temple Mount and where the Dome of the Rock is, where the Muslims worship Allah.
There's a button on thirdtemple.org.
Al-Aqsa, huh?
And it says why join the construction of the third temple, and then the button is I want to build the temple.
A mosque that the remains of a Jewish dated time of the second temple when the Jews emerged. All right, let's see. I can't see anything. I'm looking for the updates. When will a third temple be built? Let's see. History of the temple. Temple of God. Solomon's temple. Second temple. The third temple. Since temple had been an important fixture. Explicit scriptural indications. 3 scriptural indications of another temple. Based on the book of Daniel about sacrifices coming to a close. No, that's about sacrifices. Ezekiel. Spiritual temple. Significance of the third temple. While the spiritual temple spoken of by Paul is already being built and a physical temple will exist during the millennium, it remains to be seen whether the Jews will build another physical temple prior to the return of Jesus Christ. In terms of importance, being part of God's spiritual temple is by far the most important endeavor we can undertake. This doesn't have any updates on. What do we have here? We got a video.
This is the map of Israel. Zooming out, we arrive at Jerusalem, one of the most popular places in rebuilding of the temple. This would be the third temple to be built on this.
Let's see. Let me play a couple. I'll play a couple like excerpts from this video here. It looks like it has some worthwhile information.
Site. However, while momentum is building for the actual construction of the third temple, it is not going to be an easy ride. thanks to multiple issues that have shown up. According to the Hebrew Bible, in 1 Kings chapter 5 verse 9, King Solomon built the first temple in the 10th century BCE. However, the site's sanctity dates back hundreds, if not thousands of years. The land on which Solomon built the temple had been purchased by King David, Solomon's father, who intended to construct a grand temple himself. According to the biblical story, the Lord rejected David's ambition because of the king's sins, and the job was passed down to the son. The land David chose, a threshing floor, was associated with Moriah, where Abraham's son Isaac was sacrificed. The mount is also known as
He
Zion
wasn't
in the Bible,
sacrificed, by
a
the
name that eventually came to encompass the entire land of Israel. This is another tradition shared by the three major monotheistic religions. Apart from that, and a few minor references to the site in the Bible, there is no obvious reason why Solomon built his temple here. What is clear is that the temple was intended to be a permanent home for the Ark of the Covenant, or Aaron Habrit, which held the stone tablets of the law Moses received on Mount Sinai and traveled with the Israelites during their desert journey. The temple would be the home of their God, who would be represented in the form of an idol among pagan peoples. The Israelites initially thought of the temple as God's literal residence, but God's presence was intangible at best, a type of radiance called kavod in Hebrew. As people's perceptions of God shifted from being a local or national deity with an address who needed to be appeased to being universal and omnipresent, the sanctuary evolved from being a place where God lived to being a place where people came to offer service to God in the form of sacrifices. The temple was intended to serve as a single facility for the united monarchy, where sacrifices to God would take place and God's presence was said to dwell in the Holy of Holies, an elaborate chamber in the temple's innermost sanctum. However, Solomon's temple was attacked by several foreign powers. Emperor Titus looted to eat their fruit. I will plant Israel in their own land. Turning to the promised land in Isaiah chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, which says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. I will bring your offspring from the east and gather you from the west. I will say to the north, give them up, and to the south, do not hold them back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth." But why would the Jews want to build another temple? Well, we must turn to Rabbi Moses Maimonides, a Jewish philosopher and Torah scholar who wrote on the significance of the temple for Jews. He stated in The Laws of God's Chosen House that the temple served two functions. The first function is to reveal the divine presence of God, which dwelt above the mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant to mankind, as stated in 2 Kings chapter 25 verse 22, which says, "I will meet with you there, above the cover between the two cherubim that are over the Ark of the Testimony, and give you all my commands for the Israelites." The second function is to make it easier to make the necessary sacrifices. However, since the destruction of the Second Temple in AD 70, the Jewish people have been unable to offer these sacrifices. In fact, 202 of the 613 mitzvot or commandments in the Torah cannot be fulfilled in the absence of a temple. With no temple in Jerusalem, Jews now worship the God of Israel in their local community synagogues and through Torah study. And instead of animal sacrifices, they now offer prayer, repentance, and charity. So which body is rebuilding the temple? For political reasons, the country of Israel may shy away from the responsibility. In fact, Jews are prohibited by Israeli law from praying at the site, and visitors are constantly confronted by Muslims such as the Women in Black, who keep a constant vigil on Jewish presence at the site. Furthermore, the Islamic authorities officially deny the existence of a temple on the site. However, there are movements or groups that are preparing for the construction. One of them is the Temple Movement, which began preparing in 1987. The Temple Movement's Jewish leaders believe that the Jewish people are not living on the spiritual level that God intended due to the absence of the Shekinah, or divine presence, in the world. The Temple Institute has produced all of the ritual vessels required for the temple's function and works to train priests for this future work. There is a connection between the need for a new level of spiritual attainment and the temple's rebuilding. The organization believes that the Shekinah is brought about only through the temple, and only rebuilding will solve both the world's and the Jewish people's current problems. Temple Mount Faithful is another organization that has been attempting to prepare Israeli society for the rebuilding of the temple through demonstrations at the temple's site, the construction of a cornerstone for the Third Temple and the production of various temple-related utensils. Gershon Salomon, the director of Temple Mount Faithful, said, "Building the Third Temple is an act that must be done to complete the redemption of the people of the Bible in the land of the Bible. I cannot imagine an Israeli state or Israeli life in this country without the Temple Mount at its center. Jewish access. This could be happening right now." Concerning the site, Israel's Supreme Court has stated this in its ruling opinion on the issue of the works on the Temple Mount. The reality on the Temple Mount is by no means simple. It is extremely delicate and difficult. This is one of those cases where a judicial ruling is not the most reasonable way to resolve the dispute, and such a decision goes beyond the bounds of the law. Not the court, but the political echelon that must provide content and meaning to the historical call, "The Temple Mount is ours." In other words, this must be a political action rather than a legal one. Let's hear what you think of the third Jewish temple being built.
There's a lot to unpack. Certainly.
It sounds like it's not going to be built anytime soon.
Yeah, with the whole thing about the Muslims believing that, you know, it's their right, you know, they have their mosque there and all that. And it is a Abrahamic religion, I guess. They believe in they believe in their God is the same. They believe is the same as our God.
Yeah.
They believe in Jesus, but not as we believe in Jesus.
As a prophet, not a Messiah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very it's interesting. Like why should a religion that came, you know, over 300 years after Jesus in the form of you know, what was it, Gabriel who came to Muhammad? You know, the religion of Islam came so much later than Christianity. Yet they believe their you know, their mosque in the city of David it belongs there more than another temple does. You know, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but they say that the Jews are oppressing the Muslims by doing this, and there's a lot of people there's certain political parties that want to fight for a kind of two-party state where there's Jewish and Muslim leaders, but they cannot fit together. They cannot legislate together. It's not going to work.
Yeah. But isn't that also the point of the Antichrist before he becomes the Antichrist, is to bring peace in the Middle East?
Yeah, like uniting the world's religions.
Yeah. And then, so I think that when that person shows, I mean, this is how I feel. I could be wrong on this. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. I feel like once that person kind of like reveals themselves, and like we start to get into that one world power, that's probably when like actual construction is gonna get built. Don't you?
That makes sense, yeah. You know what? It definitely makes sense. I could see the Antichrist stepping up, and then after the Antichrist brings the world together, they finally decide to build another temple. And then after the completion of the temple is when it'll be, you know, desecrated. That makes a lot of sense. I could see it being an issue without the Antichrist being, or somebody in power who is able to bring the Muslims and the Hebrews together.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just how I've felt, you know, that's what's going to happen, is because the whole point is the world peace, you know, which means peace in the Middle East, which obviously peace in the Middle East has been something that no one has seen for a long time. All right. I mean, am I wrong in that? And so,
no, you're not wrong.
Yeah. So, I mean, wouldn't he be the one to create that peace, and with that peace allow them to build a temple I mean, obviously, it's a big part of the plan, so it's gonna happen. So that would be a big cause for allowing it to happen. I mean, that's just how I've felt.
Yeah, I guess it depends. There's a lot of different people who think different things about like the rapture of the church and the timing of everything and all that. It's very it's kind of hard to understand and know fully like the timing of everything, because I mean we're not meant to know the timing, but based off of what the different things that we hear in Revelation versus the different things that are happening in the world, you can kind of piece together certain things about the timing of certain events that coincide, but not necessarily the start of the events that are going to happen. Like, is the rapture going to happen before, you know what I mean, the 7 years of what do they call it? It was called David's I forgot what it's called. The basically the tribulation, they call it the 7 years of like Israel's judgment or something like that, or David's I forget. But yeah, like, does the rapture happen before that? Does the rapture happen in between that? Does it happen after that?
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you.
Well, I mean, I think the whole point of Revelations is I don't think we're supposed to know. Right? Like, I don't think that's the point, is that we're supposed to know. Because if we knew a time, you know, fucking August 3rd of 2045, you know, well, if that was the case, then I'm going to live like a piece of shit all the way up until January 1st of 2044.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put in like a year and a half of, let me start actually being a good person and getting my salvation, you know. I feel like that's... yeah, I'm going to be a piece of shit up until that day.
I could be a degenerate for the next, like, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think the whole point is we're not supposed to know. Like, yeah, like, we have our hints and our clues, but we're not supposed to know the timeline. We're not supposed to know what's going to happen. We're not, like, generally... We're not supposed to know, like, it's going to happen on this date at 11:33 p.m. on August 3rd, fucking 2045.
Yeah, watch it be August 3rd now.
Dude.
You already, you're prophesying right now.
clip this, you know, because August 3rd, 2045, we're going to watch this, and it's going to be world news that the temple just got finished built.
Heck yeah.
And Barack Obama's walking into it for the first time.
Yeah, right. But the what was I gonna say? Something about the end times prophecy and all that. A lot of people have come and gone and said that, you know, the end times is gonna start here. You know, you remember December 21st, 2012 was supposed to be the end of the world. All that kind of thing, and that kind of stuff.
Y2K.
Yeah, Y2K. Yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, the Bible just says, simply put, that no man knows the day or the hour. Not even Jesus knows. Only God the Father knows.
Yep.
And when the time comes, God is just going to be like, all right, Jesus, my son, go. And
except for me, because I just called it.
He's going to send them with the angels. Yeah. And they're going to go collect all the church. It's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be...
Everyone knows except for me, because I just called it.
Spectacular. Yeah, I'll clip it, and then hopefully maybe it'll go viral. And people start getting their act together.
Next thing you know, there's going to be movies about August 3rd, 2045.
Bro, there's going to be like a huge revival. The revival of the 2040s.
Yeah.
The church is going to come back. Like, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Next thing you know, if you're not Christian, you're canceled.
Yeah. Dude. But no, yeah, I think that's like the whole point is we're not supposed to know, you know, because like I said, if I was a terrible person and I knew the exact day and the exact time, then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna be a piece of shit, and then last minute I'm gonna say, Jesus, I accept you as my Lord and Savior. Please forgive me for my sins. Right on the dot, you know,
Right.
last minute. Just threw that Hail Mary out there, and next thing you know, I'm being raptured, you know.
Yeah, right.
Which obviously it's not going to be like that,
Hail
but if yeah, but obviously it's not going to it it wouldn't be like that anyway. But you know, like I imagine there'd be some people that would be doing that though.
There's not going to be a warning either.
Yeah, no.
It says it's going to happen in
The trumpets.
twinkling of an eye.
The trumpets. That's your warning.
Yeah, you hear the trumpets.
That's your 5-second warning. Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
Old military bugle calls.
Yeah. It's gonna be the reveille.
Yeah.
Round up the troops.
Yep.
It's time to go home.
Dude, imagine how crazy that would be if it actually was like military bugle call.
Just a little trumpet. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing even like super like, just like a horn forged in the by a blacksmith in heaven.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be crazy, bro.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like the whole thing about the time is near, you know, like all that and everything. Like, yeah, I feel like it is. I feel like it's closer than a lot of people think. But I also feel like trying to create Christians based off of fear is not the way we should be trying to scare people into it and be like, you know, in like 10 years Jesus is gonna come. Like, that's not the way that we should be, you know, building faith in people. In my opinion, I mean, I could be completely wrong in this, but
using
like
fear to,
being like, like it should be something that someone wants to do because they believe, they have faith and they believe it, and they, you know, and you push them to that faith, not scare the shit out of them into that faith. While yes, damnation is some scary shit, and you know, it is something that people should be afraid of. I don't think that we should be using that fear to build faith and create new Christians, you know, or however you want to put it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of these people that are trying to do the scare tactic, like Jesus is coming tomorrow, aren't doing.
If you don't repent now, you're gonna die and burn in hell.
Yeah, you got 2 hours left. You know,
that's not the way you do it.
Yeah.
With all gentleness and kindness, and there's a time and place for every kind of thing like that. You know, there's a time for like reproach. There's a time for correction. There's a time for preaching, you know, more gently, and sending a message more kindly. And there's a time when you need to like scream, you know, and you need to preach that way. There's a time and a place for all that. The Bible says it. And the first thing Jesus said when he started his ministry was, the first thing he taught was for people to repent. After he was baptized by John the Baptist, and his ministry started, he told people to repent and turn from their sin.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I've seen so many videos of people like realizing, you know, that Jesus Christ is our Savior, you know, by talking to people, just talking to them, and that person showing them love and actually caring about their salvation, you know, caring about what happens to them. but I haven't really ever seen a video where it's like, if you don't freaking repent right now, you're gonna burn in hell for the rest of eternity. So you need to do it now because Jesus is coming tomorrow. I've never seen a video where someone has been like, yeah, dude, you're right. You know,
Right.
never seen I've never seen it. You know, and I've watched a lot of like the videos of people, you know, accepting Jesus Christ as their savior. I've watched a lot of them online. You know, never seen one where someone's, you know, trying to scare them into it or yelling at them, telling them how stupid they are and wrong. But I've seen a bunch where it's, you know, people are showing them love and kindness and just like, this is the way. And they realize it and accept it.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're just like, you're yelling at me and telling me what I'm doing is wrong. Oh, okay, you must be right. Let me repent right now and turn from my sin. It's kind of tough for people to like sit there and listen to that, like the fire and brimstone type of gospel, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like I was watching this dude explain Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
You know Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, I know Jordan Peterson. I'm still listening to you.
Yeah. I was watching this guy explain how Jordan Peterson is able to get so many people to realize, you know, that they're wrong and like win arguments. And one of his ways that he does it is if me and you were disagreeing, right? If me and you were disagreeing,
right? Then
by sitting there and saying, I understand why you feel that way, it gives you it gives you the ability to basically change your mind without being perceived as an idiot. Because if I'm sitting here saying, oh, I could understand why you feel like that, but let me tell you why I feel like this, you know, that's showing that like, okay, you're not an idiot for thinking that way, but maybe his idea is a little bit better, you know. Because you got to think of people's pride. Pride is a very big thing in a lot of people. And so if I'm sitting there like, oh, you're a Muslim, you're stupid. How stupid are you for being a Muslim? How stupid are you an atheist? You're a fucking idiot. That's never gonna win over anyone. That's never gonna to build that love and that kindness and that friendship that people need.
Exactly.
You know, if I'm sitting there telling everyone like you're a fucking idiot for being an atheist, that's not what I feel like saves people, you know. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the master in saving people.
Well,
but
it's certainly
you know,
not. Yeah, it's certainly not the way to save people. You know? I mean, there is a way. It's honestly not up to us. You know what I mean? We're just here as we're here to here as like vessels of the Holy Spirit, and we're here to spread the gospel and do this kind of thing. All not for our glory, but completely for the glory of God. So it's not up to us to choose when and how somebody reaches that point in their mind where they're like, oh, Jesus is truly the way to salvation. You know what I mean? Like, you could be somebody preaching on the streets, preaching that type of fire and brimstone type of gospel where it's like, if you don't repent now, you're going to die and go to hell where there is eternal torment and suffering. And sometimes God uses that to lead people to him. Like, I'm not saying that like it's like always, but when we feel like that, they call it when we're convicted of our sins, and we feel guilty about sinning. We feel that, and we carry that guilt with us. You know what I mean? And when if somebody could hear that message, like if you don't repent from, you know, what you did, you know, you could have stolen from your neighbor, or, you know what I mean, committed adultery, or, you know, did something, and then the Holy Spirit, you know, just convicts you, like, dude, maybe I need to repent. You know what I mean? Like it's up to God. Like the point where we reach that. I mean, we are all chosen before the foundation of the world. So.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I feel like sometimes it's just like, it's unreal. Like it is real. Like you know, you can see it, but it's like it feels like so unreal because it's like, how can like I was talking to my neighbor and she was telling me, you know, a story about a time where she was having like a hard time and someone came up and basically helped her out and everything, right? And and it was just like it's crazy how it's I don't know, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it, but it's just like it feels so unreal, but like you could see it with your own eyes and it's just like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy that I'm witnessing this, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like the power of God, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're witnessing it. And I got a very crazy story that I want to share, but I want to wait for Dimitri to be on here to share it, so I'll share it tomorrow. But I got a crazy story about that, and yeah, I'll wait for Dimitri to be on tomorrow because he should definitely be on for that. So.
Well, I shared mine before, but I'll share it again. I shared it on the podcast, I believe, but I'll go ahead and share it again real quick. There was this one time, Becca and I were taking a road trip up to Maryland, and we were like just getting onto I-70, and we started talking about Ben, and you know, we were talking about like, do you think Ben would rather be in heaven, or dead and in heaven, or alive and in jail? Like, what would you rather think, Ben? What do you think he would rather? And I didn't fully understand like why she asked the question, or even the motive behind it or anything, but we had a little conversation about it and everything. But the first thing we did when we got to Maryland was we went to the pastor's house, and we talked to the pastor, both of the pastors, and before one of my sister's friends was there, and before we left, we all stood in like the main area of the as soon as you come into the house, and we stood and we just said a little prayer. We started praying and everything, and then as we're praying, the pastor's wife goes, "Hey guys, I'm getting like this message, this feeling from the Holy Spirit that he wants me to say that Ben would rather be in heaven than on than on earth and in jail." And Becca and I just looked at each other like flabbergasted, and I was like, we just talked about this like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Like, how is that possible? And it's just those like little things, you know what I mean? Those little things that you know that God is like always, he's listening, he's watching, he's got you protected.
Yeah.
He's looking after you, man.
Yeah, no, he definitely is, and it's just like, it's such a beautiful thing to see, and it's like.
I went out for a sec. Sorry about that. Wi-Fi went out for a sec.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
All right, go ahead.
But yeah, no, it's such a beautiful thing and so crazy and everything. It's like we have such a loving God, and people don't understand. Like when you have God in your life, you'll never like need. You always provide, and it's such a beautiful thing. Like the fact that he's always like walking, like Jesus is always walking there with us, and there's times where you can see it, like your time, right? It's just like, wow, because faith is believing something without the ability to see it, right?
Hebrews
that,
11:1.
Yeah, that's faith. But then there's times where it's like you get that validation. You know, it's like you don't need the validation, but you get that validation. It's just like that's freaking cool. You know?
Yeah, man. The evidence of things not seen.
Yeah.
I will post it in the chat for anybody who wants to read it. I don't know if anybody's watching or listening, but it is Hebrews 11:1.
But you get what I mean, though? To where it's like you have that faith of like, you know, you have faith, you know, so you believe even without seeing. But then you get those times where it's like you said, where you know that was something else. That wasn't just a wild guess of her saying Ben would rather be in heaven than alive in jail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, that wasn't her just randomly saying that, and that wasn't just like some wild guess. And that's like your validation right there. Like, you know, it's crazy.
It really is, man. And those kind of things like help to motivate you too, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're very motivating. Because sometimes
Yeah.
you get stagnant and all that, but you know for sure that God is always is always taking care of you, man. And just having like that stuff like that happen, it happens, you know, every once in a while for me. Like I'll have a dream or something like that will happen, a word of encouragement, or I'll get a random text message from somebody, and when I'm feeling down or something, and it's like it's always, you know, God's always there. He knows what we need when we need it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
you know?
sure.
And if he cares for the birds, how much more does he care for us? You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like I said, it's I don't know. It feels so good, you know. Actually, speaking of Ben, he I remember we were talking about when I drove him from Maryland to Texas that one time.
Yeah.
Like drove him back to Texas to come and see y'all and everything. I remember we were talking in the truck on the way there, and we were talking about, you know, reading the Bible. And I was like, I have such a hard time with reading, you know. It's like I'll like dig into it and I'll start reading, and then I kind of just like I'll stop, you know, and then I don't read for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll dig into it and I'll start reading, and I just kind of stop and I don't read for a while, you know. I was like, I want to build consistency, right? But I don't know where to start. And he told me it was like start with I think you might have told me this too, but I think he was the first one to tell me. He's like, start with Proverbs, or not Proverbs, Psalms, right? And just read like five chapters a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he said like that's how you get through it in like 30 days or something like that, right? I'm trying to do the math real quick.
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, if you do five like chapters of Psalm a day, then you should be able to get through it in 30 days, right? Yeah, I think that's what he said.
150 chapters. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what was it, a few weeks ago, I actually started doing that, and I've been doing it like every day, going back through Psalms and just reading 5 a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just doing that again. And he was telling me like he does that all the time. He did that all the time, where he would just read through like 5 a day of Psalms. You know.
And yeah, Psalms are very good too, man. They're very encouraging.
Yeah.
The Bible app, you know, you still have the Bible app?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yo, maybe we could start a Bible study.
Yeah. I thought you were doing that.
I was
Like,
doing
you know-
one, yeah, and then I stopped. I finished a couple of them with my brother and one of my other friends. We finished one up on like fear and stuff, and all that. But it was pretty interesting. But I just
Yeah.
been doing more. I've been doing more like theological, like more studying of like the history and different things like that, because I feel like I'm being led in a direction from the Spirit to like be more of a defender of the faith. You know what I mean? You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, I want to be like the type of person who can like stand up for the faith when people say like, oh, well, I'll tell you why, you know, your faith is wrong, or why Jesus didn't exist, or why he wasn't God, or, you know, these kind of type of things. So
Yeah. I mean, that definitely takes a lot, because I don't think I have the knowledge or ability to be able to do that as much as I would want to. Like, if someone like really came at me, like, all I would be sitting there is just like spitting off the few bits of history I know when it comes to that, and just being like, I mean, it's faith.
yeah,
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as far as like, you know, Jesus, every time when someone tells me like, you know, Jesus never existed, I mean, you look at like the three main religions, you know, Judaism, Hebrew, and Christianity. I mean, even Buddhists. 'Cause
Islam,
I think
Islam,
Yeah.
Judaism, and Christianity.
Yeah, I mean, even Buddhism, right? Because Buddhists believe that Jesus was a real person. I think they just recognize him as a Buddha.
Yeah, Jesus was a Buddha. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like whenever people say it to me, I'm like, every religion, basically, like all the main religions, recognize him as a real person who existed.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, and they either label him as a prophet or a Buddha, or in Christianity the Messiah. So every religion recognizes him as an important person.
And there's
So-
there's so many sources that aren't even biblical sources that point to Jesus being the Messiah, or, you know, not even just Jesus, but Jesus being God, but Jesus being a real actual person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who performed miracles, and who was born in Bethlehem, and whose parents were Mary and Joseph, and who's been noted in, you know, at the trial and being crucified and being resurrected, you know, coming back to life after 3 days.
Yeah.
This kind of things are historical facts.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it like you look at. I remember I saw this one thing where they explained it, like, you look at Muhammad's grave, right? Look at Muhammad's grave.
Yeah.
You look at, you know, Buddha's grave. Look at all their graves. You dig them up. What are you gonna find?
Probably a skeleton.
Yeah. You dig up where Jesus was buried. What are you gonna find?
Not a damn thing.
Yep. Yeah.
You ain't gonna find nothing. There's actually a picture of where they believe that the tomb was, where the stone was rolled away, where the angels were. Dude, it looks pretty interesting. Yeah, we actually did dude, this was kind of like pretty spectacular. When Jesus, I forget where he was during his ministry, but do you remember that story in the Bible when Jesus went out onto the boat because there was so many people following him because they wanted them to like heal him, and like, you know, they wanted to touch the hem of his garment, and they just wanted his supernatural powers and his abilities, and they wanted healing. and Jesus decided to go out onto a boat in the sea, and the people stood basically on the shore or like on the hilltop or something, and they sat and they listened to him preaching from this boat. And they did a test. I don't know who specifically did the test, but basically what they did was they had somebody go out on a boat and speak, and they preached, you know, and just talked. And somebody stood on the hilltop next to the sea, and the way this like section of the sea, and like it's like a kind of like a alcove kind of thing, I forget what it's called, like a bay. The way the acoustics from your mouth, like, and the sound travels, the people at the top of the hill could hear from like so far away. And they even played a sound, like an audio recording of people recording from on top of this hill, and you could hear them so good, even though they were like all the way like in a boat in the middle of the sea. It was spectacular, dude. Blew my mind. Wow. It was when we did that Bible study with you know, S and A. It was pretty cool, man. It blew my mind. I was like, man, you know, only God could know that. The acoustics, you know what I mean? I mean, he didn't even need that, the natural acoustics. He could have just talked, and the power of God would have sent his voice to everybody, you know, wherever. I mean, he healed. He healed people who were miles away.
Yeah, but just the fact that he was at that spot right there, you know, knew where to go. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many more miracles that we don't even know, man, that they just weren't written.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
But we'll know one day, so.
Yeah, we will. But, all right, man, well, I'm going to hop off here tonight.
Okay, well, thanks for taking the time, man. I know it wasn't exactly the podcast we thought was going to happen, but I really appreciate it. It was a good conversation.
We had a good time.
It was, yeah, man. I did have a good time. But, yeah, man, I hope you have a great night.
We got to give the people what they want.
Yeah, they want Friday night conversations.
Yeah, we got to give the people what they want.
We got to get the Hodge twins.
Yeah.
We got to get the Hodge twins on here, man.
Yeah.
But, yeah, let me know if you do end up, like, if you finish up early tomorrow or something on your truck or something, and you do end up joining, so.
I'll be done by dark.
Which is like, what, 9:30 sunset? I don't know.
Well, it's dark right now.
I'll be done by the time the street lights come on.
Yeah, I promise, Mom. No, I'd say probably, I mean, I got to throw my transmission back in my truck. So I'll probably be done before 7. I imagine it's probably going to take me a few hours to put my transmission back in my truck.
Well, if you're not too tired, you know what I'm saying? Just hit the group up. We'll be here. Hopefully. I don't know if they agreed on doing it tomorrow, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
But alrighty, bro.
If not, then we'll have another Saturday night conversation.
Yeah, dude, I'm down with that.
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right, well, God bless you and your family, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, man. God bless you.
Okay, love you, bye. Wait. Alrighty, thank you all for watching. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your days to check this out. So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and call this a good night podcast. Thank you very much. May God bless you all and your families, and we will see you tomorrow. Y'all take care now. And, all right. Yeah, take care. God bless. Oh.
once you get into that, you start getting into a situation, the slippery slope, where all of a sudden you're going to really violate the Second Amendment. I don't want to do anything to violate the Second Amendment. To me, the Second Amendment is very important.